Okay, then I can see you guys now. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jatin, Bardhan, Jatin, Viplav, Vikas, Rishi Kalpa, Prashant, Thanime. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, all of you, and I welcome you all to the day 2 of this Flutter Essential course. I hope you had a good day, and now let's try to have like a good evening, right? So, good evening, everyone. Good evening, guys, and I hope you guys were also able to install Flutter in your PC, and you guys also ran your first app just like we did yesterday, right? So, I hope you were able to install the Flutter SDK. Then after that, you installed the Visual Studio and also the Visual Studio Code, and I hope you were like able to install Android Studio as well. So I'm hoping that you guys ran your first project, created a simple Flutter project and ran it. That's all. No coding, nothing, because from today we are actually going to start the coding part. But I'm just hoping that you guys were able to install Flutter in your PC successfully and everything was running. Okay. Sir, I have a doubt regarding Flutter install. Go ahead. You can ask me. Yeah, go ahead. Let's see if we can solve it. Okay. So once again, good evening, guys. And for all the people joining new and who have not registered for the course yet, the registration link of the course is in the chat. Please go ahead and register, because if you don't register, you will not be able to submit your project. You will not be able to, what do you say, mark attendance, and you'll not be able to get certificate. Okay. So you have to register for the course to get all these things. So whoever is new, whoever have like has not registered yet, please go ahead, follow the link and register. Error not found dart UI. I was getting this. Okay, while creating the project or exactly when? Ayan? So you're getting this error while creating the project or while running the project? Did you like change some codes? Because I think this kind of error comes only when you play with the code a little bit. So no need to worry about that. In some time, I'll create one more Flutter project. I'll start from the scratch. I'll create some layouts as well to show you the output. So at that time, you can see what exactly am I doing. Okay, everyone. So are we, first of all, let me ask, are we excited for today's session, guys? Because today, in the first half, we're going to learn all the Dart basics. As I discussed yesterday, that Flutter uses Dart programming language. Everything that you're going to write, every coding, every functionality, every widget that we're going to create inside a Flutter app, we're going to be creating it using the Dart programming language. So before moving on to the actual Flutter, to the actual app development, first we will learn Dart as a normal programming language, so that we can see what are the differences as like from other programming languages. If you compare it with Dart, what are the new things in Dart, how does Dart work? And for all the new people who have never learned any programming language, for them also it will be a little simple thing to understand. Because if I directly jump into Flutter, and if someone is coming from a non-programming background, or if someone is coming from some other programming background, they might get confused. That's why, guys, in the first half we are going to be covering Dart basics. Okay. So let's start, guys. Let's start. So first of all, what exactly is Dart? It is nothing but a programming language created by Google. It's a general purpose programming language. That means it can be used like C, C++, Java, but it is mostly used with Flutter to create applications. Because in the outside world, we have different languages like Java, PHP, right? JavaScript to do different stuff. Just like that, Dart is also a general programming language, but it is mostly used with Flutter to create applications. Okay, as Flutter is also created by Google, Dart is also created by Google. And one more thing, if you just want to write Dart and execute, you don't need to install anything in your PC. No need to worry about installing any compiler and all that stuff. You can just go in your browser and you can simply search for Dartpad. It will give you, see on the first link, just go on this first link. It will give you a very good online compiler. So here you can start writing your code. Here you can read about any functionality, and here you can see your output. So to write and run that only for testing purpose, you can always come here. No need to install any extension in your PC. No need to use your code editor and creating files and all that stuff. Just come here and start doing it only for testing. Okay. What is the difference between Flutter and React Native? Because both does the same job. Yes, they both are like basically used to create applications, mobile applications, right? But if you say, first of all, the language is different. React Native is based on JavaScript, based on React. Flutter is completely based on Dart. Okay, but yeah, both are doing the same job, just like Java and C Sharp. They both are programming languages, but they are used in different context, and it also depends on personal preference. So Flutter also does the same thing. React Native also does the same thing. They both have some pros and cons. Some things are good in Flutter, like UI development, designing part is very good in Flutter. If you go for React Native, their JavaScript makes it easier to write logic. So both are good, but it depends on your personal preference. It depends on the kind of application you're creating, which one you will choose. So working wise, they are same. They are doing the exact same thing. Difference wise, they have different languages. They have different libraries, right? So that's how it goes. Simple. So guys, let's go with Dart, everyone. So first of all, if you're coming from a programming background, so it will be very easy for you to understand. If you're coming from a non-programming background, no need to worry. We are starting from scratch. Okay. And Dart resembles a lot with C++, Java, and JavaScript. So people coming from all these three languages, for them it will be very easy to understand Dart, because Dart is like combination of all these three. Okay. So let's go, guys. Let's start. So just like C and C++, the first thing that a Dart file has is a main function. Every code that it runs should be inside a main function, just like C and C++. You need a main function. Main function is the entry point of your program. So whatever you write, whatever you create, you have to finally call it inside the main function. Okay, that's why you have a simple main function. Now then, let's learn the first thing, how to print something in Dart. Very simple. It by default gives you a print functionality in which you can simply write, let's say, hello Dart, something like that, and put up a semicolon here. Okay, that's it. And now you can just go ahead and click on run, and you should get your output here. Here we go. Hello Dart. So that's how you simply print something in Dart language. Very simple. We're going to use it a lot while working with Flutter. We have to print a lot of things on console. So guys, please, for the next 15 to 20 minutes, please focus. Let's learn the basic of Dart, and then we can directly move on to our Flutter application. Okay, so first thing. Now, second thing that we learn in any programming language is how to create variables. Just like that, let's also learn how to create variables in Dart. And again, it's as simple as any other language, just like C++ and Java. You have different types. So the first thing that you mention is the type of the variable. Let's say int, which is basically used to store numbers. And after that, you can give it any name. So let me just call it num. Equals to, you can give it any value like 23. And then just like that, you can also print your variable. So print num, something like that. And here we go. Let's run it. And now it should print 23. Simple. Now, if you ever want to store floating numbers like decimal numbers or rational numbers, for that, Dart provides you a type called as double. So you can say double, and don't call a variable num in here, because there is a type called num also available. So let's just call it something like n, okay, or n1, num1. And here we go. Let's go and let's write n2, and in which I can store decimal value like this. I can print that, and we can see that as well. Yeah, print like Python, exactly. So here we go. Now we should get 34.56. Amazing. Now, that also understands that sometimes you might need a type, you might need a number in which maybe integer can come, or maybe a rational number can come. Like for example, money. Let's say you're storing some money value, right, in some variable. Now that money value can be 2, 3, 3.5. It can also be 3.5. So how will you decide? So for that, Dart gives you one type called as num. Okay, it has the ability to store both values. So let's say num n3. Now see, let me just do this. Like for example, see, you cannot store rational values in integer, right? Let me print n1. Okay, see, you directly have the error here. See, a value of type double cannot be assigned to a value of type int. So you're basically trying to apply a rational value to a normal variable. That's why it's not going there. So that's for this reason, if you're not sure which kind of value can come in your variable, you have a type called as num. And inside that, you can like now store normal value. So let's print it and let's see if it is working. N3, run it. We should get 23. Here we go. And but it can also store rational values as well, decimal values as well. Yeah, just like that. Here we go. We should get 23.65. Easy enough, guys. Simple. So you have integer, you have double, you have num. Now again, if you want to, let's say, create a string, so how will you do that? Very simple. Just like Java, you have a string type here, just like Java. So string, let's say name equals let's upgrade, something like that. And I can come here and print your name as well. Okay, so let's print it. And here we go. We should get let's upgrade. That's how simple it is, guys. Just like, see, if you see it, it's not anything different. It is just like all the other regular programming languages. Okay, the syntax is fairly similar to C. Few things are similar to Python. Few things are similar to Java. Like this string type, that's how we declare strings in Java. This void main, that's how we declare the main function in C. This print, that's how we print something in Python. So are you understanding how the mixture is going on here? Is that clear, everyone? Are we understanding, guys? Clarity, no confusion. Because see, guys, this is not our main thing. This is, I'm just trying to cover this so that in an app, when we start creating the application, at that time there should be like no confusion. That's why I'm doing this. Otherwise, it's very simple. I know that. Okay. It uses compiler, Anant. It uses compiler. Okay. So now, guys, let's also see what if you want to mix string or variables and string together. Like, for example, in other languages, right? Write something like this, right? The name is, so you mix string and variables together. So what if I want to do something like that? So it's very simple. In here, that gives you a concept of interpolation. So what you can do is put double quotes, okay? And you can write the name is something like that. And if you want to put a variable here, simply you can apply dollar curly braces, or actually curly braces is not needed initially. If it is a single variable, you can just go like dollar name. That's it. The name is dollar name. That's how you concatenate, or that's how you mix string with your normal variable like that. So if you just click on this, here we go. The name is let's upgrade. So that's how basic interpolation work. Basically mixing strings and variables together. Okay, this concept is called as string interpolation. Is that clear, everyone? That's, you might have done it in C, you might have done it in C++, you might have done it in Java and JavaScript. Remember, guys, in JavaScript we had that plus and all that stuff. So that's how things are working here. Not at all complicated, not at all confusing. Okay, so that's how you create some basic variables. See, guys, our primary focus is not Dart here. It's Flutter mostly. But yeah, we're still covering it. So I hope you're understanding the basics here. Okay, so int, num, double, simple string, and this is how basic print works. Okay, now let's also talk about conditions and loops, because we're also going to work with them in future, right? Screen not clear. Abdul, I think like you can, I'm also watching it on YouTube. So right now I can see it like perfectly fine. So what you can do is just, it might be the internet connection, or you can just increase the quality. Or like one thing I can do is I can zoom it a little bit more. That's it. If I zoom it more than this, then it will look very bad. See, the whole thing goes bad. So this is the final zoom I can do. Okay, now then guys, let's move ahead and let's see how conditions work here. Are they same exactly like other languages, or are they any different? Let's see. So let me comment all of this. Let me comment all of this. Let's have a single variable like this n1. Okay, so let's see, guys. So just like everywhere in every language, when you want to write condition, the most famous keyword that we use is what? If. We use backtick in JS. Exactly, Verimutu. Exactly. That is also string interpolation. So you use backtick in JS to integrate variables and string together. Exactly. I think there it is called as templating, right? String templating. Okay. Yes, Keshav, that is also used. I'll tell you when exactly. That work, like Flutter allows this directly, and you have to use curly braces if you're dealing with objects. So I'll tell you how to do it. Don't worry. I'll tell you how to do it. Don't worry about that at all. Don't worry right now. In some time, I'll tell you that. Don't worry. Okay, guys. So first of all, let's go with the basics. So again, let's see how conditions work here. It is exactly same like all the other languages. If n1, let's say, is less than 30, print nothing but just like, let's say, less than 30, else failure. Just like every other language, guys. Nothing is tough here. Just like every other language. Print, what do you call it? Like, let's say, failure. Yeah, failure, something like that. Run, and here we go, less than 30. And if the condition is wrong, for example, let's say I make it 33, that case, it should give me failure. See that? So nothing big, very simple, just like every other language. Okay, so this is the basic condition statement. If you want to use switch, it is also exactly same. Yes, Anant, yes. Template literals, exactly. Okay, just like that. If you want, you can also use switch. Okay, don't worry guys, I'm going through a little quicker, I know, because as I mentioned yesterday, the prerequisites are you should know basic language, but I'm just showing you how Dart works, that's all. Okay, so I hope you guys are understanding. So that's how basic condition works. Just like that, switch also is here available just like every other language. So you can also write switch and then pass your variable here. For example, our variable name is n1, so let me pass n1 and let me move it down, otherwise I have to scroll it again and again. Let me move it down here. So switch n1 just like that. Like every other language, guys, you can have case, let's say 20. It basically means if n1 value is 20, what to do. So you can mention it here now where you want. So let's say print case 20 executed, something like that. Okay, then you can have the next case, that is case, let's say 30, something like that. And yeah, it's like every other language, guys, don't forget to use break here. It is exactly same, guys, it is exactly same, nothing is different here. Think of it like you're using Java, Python, and JS and C++ together. That's how it comes. Think of it like this, actually. Think of it like this. Whatever is easier in Java, whatever is easier in Python, whatever is easier in JS, and whatever is easier in C, if you take all those together, you make Dart. Understanding? That's the point. So basically, the creator thought this thing only. Whatever is easier in each and every language, let's take all those points and create a new language. So that's what Dart is. Taking easy things from all the languages and curating a language. That's exactly what Dart is. Okay. So case. Will you also teach database connectivity? Yes, we are going to call an API. When we create the app, we are also going to call an API to get data and we're going to display things. So yeah, we're going to call it. We're not going to create our own database and API as it will take a lot of time and we only have 5 days. But yeah, we are definitely going to connect to an API. Okay. So let's say case 30, just like all the languages, have your default. Come on, what am I doing? Okay, default and just don't forget to put break here. And then you can simply have your print cases are wrong. Now in this case, if you can see, my n1 is 33. It doesn't match 20. It doesn't match 30. So in this case, I should go in default. That is, cases are wrong. So cases are wrong actually. So let's check it out. And here we go. Cases are wrong. But if I make it 30 or 20, any one of this case should be executed. Let's see. And here we go. Very simple, very easy. Cleared, guys? It is exactly like all the languages that we have learned till now. As I mentioned, take all the easy stuff from all the languages and create that. That's what they have done. Will it be useful for me as I am Angular developer? Yes, Karthik. If you're an Angular developer, you're developing web apps, right? Now, Angular also has one framework called as Ionic. Ionic is an Angular-based framework, but it is not a native application development library, right? So if you learn Flutter, it will definitely help. You can also start creating mobile applications. As an Angular developer, you're creating web application. You can learn Flutter and start creating mobile applications. So you can create 2 apps for people, for your clients, right? Okay. So that's how switch case works, guys. Very simple, very easy, nothing tricky, nothing bad. Okay. Now then, let's move on to the next simple topic, that is basically loops. And again, guys, it is exactly same. You still have that while, do while, and for. So I'm not going to do everything because I know you guys already know that. So I'm going to be just showing you one example. Okay. So let me show you for loop example. So for, you can just do like let, I forgot, int. I'm not writing JavaScript, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay. So for int I equals 1, something like that. I is less than equals let's say 10. So I want it to go till 10 and I plus plus. Just like that. Just go now. Ah, Habit of JavaScript. I was just gonna do console.log here. Okay, let's see. So hello, or just print the I so that you can see that it is getting printed. Okay, just print the I. It's like, see guys, if you see, it is nothing different. Just like JS, just like C, just like Java, same thing. Let's go and run it, and we should get, see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So how are you making everything is comment in one click? Oh, it's just like VS Code. Just select that line or go on that line and print, press control slash. That's what comments it. And again, you, if you want to activate it, again press control slash. Control slash is the shortcut for comment, and I think it's everywhere in every editor, in VS Code, in brackets, everywhere the shortcut is control slash, right? So control slash is same, exactly same here as well. So guys, that's how basic loop works, exactly like every other language. Do you think Flutter is better than Kotlin for now? See, it is like this. If you use Kotlin, that means you're doing the native development and you're only creating the Android app, right? But if you're using Flutter, that will be compiled to Kotlin in future, definitely, because Flutter will be compiled after that, right? To Kotlin. It will be converted to Kotlin only or Java. It will give you the native copy. But if you use Flutter, at the same time, you're creating your application for multiple environments. But if you only use Kotlin, you're creating it only for your Android phone. Understanding the point? So yeah, if I if I use Flutter, it's I'm definitely at an advantage. I'm definitely having an advantage that whatever I'm creating is gonna go on both iOS and Android, maybe TV, everywhere. Okay, exactly where to. That's what I do. See, I like in the morning I take JS session. So what happens is, whatever I do, I by mistakenly write console.log anywhere. So it is a habit actually. Whatever language you use most, it happens, right? Like in previous times, I was using Java. So in JavaScript, I used to by mistake write system.out.println. So it used to happen. It used to happen. Okay. So guys, simple loop. Just like that, you also have your while loop. Let me just show you that. So let's say while integer I equals, let's say, 1. Same. Oh, let's not do it here. That's not the correct way of writing a while loop. So integer I equals 1. Okay, and then we can just write I less than 20 or maybe 10 only, same thing. Or let's do it 5 so that you can see at least what's happening. So I less than equals 5, and then print I. Okay, exactly similar. It's like every other language, and run it. You should get 1 to. Ah, I forgot one thing. Infinite loops. So bad. So bad. So bad. So bad. Come on, that bad. It has hanged, guys. I buy. Okay, so bad of me. Let's just go there and just do I plus plus. Okay, guys, everyone, I hope you understood, right? I forgot the I plus plus. So basically, what happened? Infinite loop. Run it now, and now we should get our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, how to give input? We'll do that. We don't have to give input through console like C or C++. We will actually create input fields and read input value from there. So no need to worry about that because we are actually going to create. Yes, I know. So everyone, are we understanding all the things till now? Is there any confusion, guys? Is there any confusion? Anything? Okay, all cleared. So you saw that everything is completely similar. Nothing is what you say like different. If you compare it, it is just like C, C++. It is just like JS. Nothing was different, and we are going to actually use this language to create our whole Flutter app. So I just wanted to show you that how easy that is. Okay. Okay, that's. Can I develop iOS apps on Windows using Flutter? Yes, Ayan. Yes. Yeah, just to test it, you need a device then. Yeah, because I don't think Windows provides iOS emulator. I don't think. Maybe you can use a VM, right? So you can create, or you can install one more OS, or you can see if you can get the emulator, or then you have to use a real iOS device. But yeah, obviously you can do that. Obviously you can do that. Why not? That's what Flutter is all about. Okay. Cool then, guys. So that's how Flutter works. Sorry, that's how Dart works. And now is the time to move on to where, guys? To our actual app, and let's start creating few things. What do you say, guys? Should we go there? Everyone. Input, MP Patil, don't worry. I'll show you how to take input. We don't have to take input from console right now. We don't have to. We are actually going to take input where? In our actual app. Sir, please take a look on my doubt. Anand's doubt is what? Okay, I'll take a look at it. I'm trying. MP, please don't spam the chat, buddy. Please don't spam the chat. I understood. Don't worry. I'll show you how to take user input. Don't worry. Maybe today or maybe tomorrow, I'll show you how to take user input, because without that, our app is not going to work. So don't worry at all. Can I learn intermediate Dart within a week if I'm aware of many? Yes, you can learn Dart in 2 days. If you're aware of any other language, you can literally learn Dart in 2 days or one day. One 50-minute session is enough for you to learn Dart. That's how it is. Okay. Are you using Chrome browser? Yes, yes, Prakash, I'm using Chrome browser. Now, guys, let's move ahead and let's talk about few more things. So you can also create object like structures here like this. So let's call it user equals, you can just give curly braces, and then you can actually again let, so sorry, so sorry. Let me just do const is loud here, so I can just go here and now I can do name something like Saurabh. Okay, and yeah, don't forget the semicolon. Here it is important, it's not JS, so it's important here. And then I can have age like 22, something like that here. So you can also create object like structure. Now if you're familiar with JS, you might know this, right? So you can also create structure like this. And now if you want to print it, it is just like JS. Just go and write user dot name, something like that. Not dot name. Here actually it is accessed like this, user of name. You have to give an array like structure to access it. That's it. So that's how you access things, guys. Because see, Dart is a proper object oriented language. Okay, so for Dart, actually, this is not an object. Here, this is considered as a map. In JS, this exact same thing is considered as a object. Here, this thing is considered as a map. Okay, so this thing is what you call as a map in Dart. Okay, don't call it an object here, call it a map. And map is nothing but a collection of property and value. And to access it, don't use dot, use your object name, sorry, map name, and then array structure, and just this. That's it. Yeah. Yes, Abdul. For the people who are from JS, they might be knowing, right, what I'm saying, everyone? For the people who are from JS, you might be knowing, right, what is this? Exactly, an object. But here it is called as map, right? In different languages it might be called as yes, I can understand, Prabjot, I can understand. Yeah, it is actually the mixture of languages. So as I said, the developers simply thought, what is the easiest thing from all the languages? Let's take that and make a new language called as Dart. Okay, so I see that's, even I'm getting confusion between, I am just thinking that my instincts are going in JavaScript, I'm using dot. But I hope you're understanding by my mistakes, right? So my mistakes will actually help you to understand that this is something that you should not do. Okay, so we are also understanding that what can we do and what we should not do. Okay. Okay, how to convert the code in comment? Just select and just say control slash. That's how you comment the code. That's it. Okay, just select and control slash to comment and control slash to uncomment, just like that. Okay, so we are also going to create a lot of data like this, guys. So be prepared to use map or object if you're from JS. Okay, so guys, yep, that's how the Dart basic works. So now you know the basics. Now we are not going to go very deep in Dart. Okay, this much is enough for us to start. How to create variables, how to write conditions, how to write switch case, how to write basic loops, and also how to create a map. This much is actually enough for us to start with Dart. And now in future, while being inside the application, while creating the application, we will learn much more about this. Everyone, is the base logic cleared? So why I did this? So basically, when I'm writing the app, when I'm creating the app, and at that time, if I'm doing anything, if I'm creating anything, They should not get confused. That's why for the people who are coming from different backgrounds, I just made them understand how that works. That's it. Okay, guys. So now is the time to go to our actual. Let's close this. When you started Flutter full stack development, I think I started maybe 2 years back. Okay, but my 80% of time goes in JavaScript because I teach Angular, I teach React. So my 80% of time goes completely in JavaScript and 20% in Flutter if I'm creating an app. So it's like that, Abdul, right? So yeah, that's why I have those JavaScript instincts everywhere. If I see a bracket, I always think that it is an object. If I see a curly brace, for me, it's by default an object. Then I have to read what it is if it is a different language. So yeah, what do we use for design? HTML, CSS? No. Now let's talk all about that, guys. Now let's talk all about that. So before going ahead, let me open a notepad and let's talk about things. Now, guys, see, Flutter, as I mentioned yesterday, is a cross-platform UI designing framework, right? Flutter is nothing but a cross-platform UI designing framework provided by Google, which basically helps you to create mobile applications in a faster way. But whatever apps you create using Flutter, first of all, they are converted to the native apps. That's why they are fast. Plus, a single application that you have created can run on multiple or can be converted to all the different platform applications. So you write a single application, but that can be converted into a native Android application. That same application that you have written can be converted to iOS application. That same application that you have written can be converted to a web application. That means you write one single app, but it can be used on different platforms. That's why I say Flutter is a cross-platform framework. You write a single code. So single code base is creating apps for multiple platforms at once. You don't have to create multiple apps for multiple platforms. You're creating a single app which can be used on all the platforms natively. So it will give you a feel like a native application. Sir, is it essential to know the basics of all the four programming languages to use Flutter? No, 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 Tharun. No, not at all, not at all. Just know basic. You just know any single language that will help you. See, that's how it is in the world. You know any single language, you can learn the second language very easily. So no need to worry about that. Okay, sir, what are we using for creating application software for desktop? Now, again, if you're using Windows, then there are in Visual Studio you have a lot of things like WPF, WCF, which helps you to create desktop application. But you can also use Flutter to create Windows desktop applications. So yeah, there are various options. Okay, but our main aim, our main focus here is going to be mobile application development. So now, guys, let's talk a little about it. So now we have understood what exactly is Flutter, right? It's a framework provided by Google, which helps you to write a single code base, but it helps you to create applications for all the platforms at once by writing a single code base. By creating a single app, you're creating multiple apps, right, for all the different platforms. That's the first thing we learned. Then the language it is written, or the language that we're going to use to write Flutter code, is going to be Dart. That's what we learned. Now, when you install a Flutter project that we created yesterday, when you create a Flutter project, you get a lot of libraries inbuilt that we're going to use to create Flutter applications. Is that clear, guys? So now Flutter is all about something called as, now see guys, if I tell you I'm going to create an application, that means I'm going to create components, right? Input fields, buttons, images, icons, clickable items, action buttons, different things, whatever you see in an application. So everything in Flutter is considered as a widget. A widget is nothing but a component on screen. A widget is nothing but a component on screen, just like video, just like your button you see, just like these icons you see. Everything is considered as a widget in Flutter. Every icon, every text that you write on the screen, every button that you create, every action bar, everything that you create in Flutter is considered as a widget. It's nothing but a function that is helping you create a component. That's what a widget is. So in Flutter, everything is a widget. So either I'm going to use all the inbuilt widgets or I'm going to create my own widgets. Is that clear, everyone? Everything in Flutter is a widget, and all the widgets are created or written in Dart only. So whatever widgets I'll create, I'll also write them in Dart. Whatever widgets are already there, they are also created in Dart only. Is that clear, guys? So everything in Flutter is what? It's a widget. Every button, every icon, every action bar, every image, everything is considered as a widget. Okay, so do we need to create application for different Android versions, or will our app adopt itself? It will adopt itself. That's what the use is, right? You just have to build it differently. You create one application and you just build it for Android or iOS at the end. That's all. But you are not writing code for everything. You're writing your code only once. Okay. Okay, guys. So should we go ahead, everyone? Now, yesterday, if you remember, we created our first Flutter project and it was something like this. Nothing big. These all basic code. You have got it by default. Okay. All the basic code is here by default. We don't have to worry about it. And we also ran this application, if you remember, guys. We also executed this application, if you can remember. Let me execute it again. Okay, so here by default Windows is mentioned. So if I run this application right now, it will create a Windows application for me. I don't want that. So I'm going to be selecting, okay, I want to run this application in a mobile emulator. If you remember, guys, yesterday we created a mobile emulator as well. A phone. We created a phone yesterday by using Android Studio. So let's start that emulator, a phone emulator, so that we can run this application. And here we go. I hope you can see my emulator, guys. I hope you can see my emulator. And now, worked on Ionic and React Native, how is it different? See, I'll tell you. In Ionic, you're actually not creating an application. You're creating a web page that is displayed via web view, right? That's one approach of creating mobile application, but it is not a real mobile application. You're actually creating web pages which are responsive mainly. They also give you few features of application as well, but they are mainly web pages which are displayed in web view. React Native, yeah, it perfectly gives you a native feel. So Flutter is more like React Native. Ionic is different. Ionic doesn't give you native applications, right? Ionic basically creates web pages for you and you display it in your mobile phones using the web view, right? React Native and Flutter are kind of similar because they both create native versions of their application. They are real mobile applications. They create real mobile applications. You can say that. Is that clear, Karthik? So you can compare React Native and Flutter. Okay. So now, guys, let's move ahead. Okay, and let's see. So let's run this application first. So let's just click on. So now, guys, whenever you want to run your application, yesterday we also installed the Flutter extension. Just press F5. Just go inside your file and press F5. It will start the Flutter debugger and it will run your application on the selected device. In this case, my selected device is my emulator. And here you go, guys. You can see that, right, everyone? A simple application with a header, with some text here, and with a floating action button. But now let's go and let's remove everything from here. Let's remove everything. All these things I don't need. I don't need anything. Let's create our application from scratch. How we can do designing? Yes, that's what we're gonna learn, Vipin. As I said, everything in Flutter is a widget. Everything in Flutter is a widget, and widget is nothing but all the components that you see. Right? Widgets is nothing but all the components that you see, like buttons, images, containers, everything. So what we need to learn is how many different kind of widgets are there, with like which particular widget will help me to create button, which particular widget will help me to create image. Just like that, we have to learn, and we have to create a widget tree. Okay, this widget is going inside this widget is going inside this widget is going inside this, and that's how we will create our application. So everything in Flutter, guys, it's a widget. Widget is nothing but a part, a component of your screen, right? A element on your screen. Okay. And while writing the code, we just decide which particular widget to use, which widget will go inside which widget, and that's how the tree is created, and that's how your application is created. Is that clear, guys? So now then, let's start from scratch. See, guys, even though you're starting from scratch, understand that this is something that you need to import the material.dart package. So it's a Dart package, it's a Flutter Dart package that gives you access to all the widgets that you're going to create here. This, if you don't import this package, you won't be able to use any inbuilt widgets. This basically, this particular package gives you all the material widgets that we're going to use, the buttons, the images that we're going to create. It gives access to all the low level widgets like text and button, to the high level widgets like containers and all that stuff. Okay, so we actually have to import it. If we don't import it, then we cannot use all the UI elements. Now there might be some other packages as well, but this is the most used package. right? This is like the official package. You can think of it like that. Okay. And then again, as it is a dart file, we need the main function to execute my code. And inside this, it provides a run app function, which should be there. This is the function that gets called, which basically starts your application. So run app is a function that is required. So inside your void main, you have to call run app, and inside this, you will pass your application. Now then, guys, let's go ahead and let's start creating our application. Okay, as I said, everything in Flutter is a widget. Okay, so we have to start by creating a widget. So then let's go, guys. So to start creating a widget, guys, it's very easy. What you have to do is you have to write stl, okay, which will create a stateless widget for you. Now, what is stateless? Don't worry. Tomorrow I'll explain you what exactly is stateless or what exactly is stateful. Don't worry about that. But for now, let's create a stateless widget. Think of a stateless widget like a static page. Static. It's not dynamic. It cannot change. Think of it like that. Just enter and now see. It has actually created a class for you. Now, don't forget to give it a name, guys. Okay, actually, it gave me in the start only the option. See, don't forget to give name. So let's call it my app. That was the name initially. Also, that was the name, but yeah, let's also give the same name, my app. You can see it's nothing but a class, my app, which is extending statelet widget class. That means it is getting all the features of a statelet widget from this class. It is also having a constructor which requires a key parameter. Right now, we don't have to worry about that. Okay. And here is the main function, the widget build. This build function helps you build the widget tree or the widget. So this function is very, very important. So inside a widget class, this function is the one that actually builds the widget for you. Widget, or guys call it component. See guys, wherever I'm mentioning widget, think of it like a component. Component means the header, the button, this all this stuff. Okay. And then I just go here and you have to mention run my app like that. And yeah, as a preference, you should also put a const here. That's what Flutter suggests. So let's put a const here. Okay, so that it's constant. That's all. And yep, here we go. Okay, and by default, see, by default, this build function is returning a widget called as container. Now think of container like a div in HTML. Think of container like a div in HTML, like a div or a section, just like you create a div, right? But right now we don't need to use container. We're not going to directly use container. What we're going to say our build function is you return a material app. Basically, it will give me a good looking material theme, just like all the apps right now we have, right? If you go on any app right now, they follow material theme. So return material app will give you a by default material theme. And now inside this, see now, first I'm returning a material app widget. And now if I want to create something inside that, I'll go inside the bracket and now I'll create some more widgets inside this. So that's how it works, guys. Widget inside widget inside widget. That's how things work. Is that clear? And yeah, don't forget to put semicolon here. It's not JavaScript. You cannot. Okay, again, see, prefer const. So you can just put a const here. That's all. Okay, now we have created our first widget, that is material app. And now inside this, we can go and we can again use so now it provides one property. This material app widget provides one property called as home, in which you can pass any other widgets. So now in this, we're going to pass a widget called as scaffold. Now this is going to be one of the main widgets that we will ever learn. Think of scaffold is like a screen widget. It lets you create all the components very easily. Scaffold widget directly covers the whole screen and it lets you create all the components like buttons, input fields, all the stuff very, very easily. Okay. So first I say my build function. So see what will happen now. Whenever my app is called, that means fine, start the app. The first thing it will return is a material app, which is the whole theme of my screen. After that, inside, I'm saying, okay, fine, this material app is containing a scaffold widget. Scaffold is like body. Think of scaffold like your body. Guys, think of scaffold like your body in HTML. Okay, which will now let you create all the components. So scaffold is also a widget, but it's like a container widget. And now inside this, now let me just show you. Let's see if there's some output for this. See, there's nothing, blank. Now let's go inside scaffold and let's start creating things. And why I'm saying Scaffold is best, because Scaffold provides you a lot of features. Okay, like for example, Scaffold has a property called as app bar, in which you can pass a app bar widget like this. Okay, and now inside this, see, whenever guys you forget about like what are the properties that will be inside it. Okay, what is happening here? Let me close this. The constructor being called isn't a const. Try removing const from the constructor invocation. Do I need to remove this? Yeah. So now it's not important. Initially it was suggesting it, but now it's not important. So read the errors, always read what's going on. Now guys, whenever you want to see what are the properties available inside a widget, just press control space and you can see all the properties available inside it. And for now, I want to use something called as title. Okay. And now inside title, I need to pass a text. Don't worry guys, focus on this thing. Everything will be cleared in some time. So to write a text on your screen, you again have to use one more widget, that is text widget. Guys, now you're getting my point. Why I told you that everything in Flutter is a widget. You're just creating a widget tree. You're running my app, which is your basically your app, your main screen. It is returning a material app, which is nothing but the theme of your page. Inside that, you're creating a scaffold widget, which is nothing but like a body, which will create a body for you on the screen. And inside that, now I'm creating an app bar. And inside that app bar, I want to write something. For that, I'm using the title property of app bar. And in the text, you can put anything like, let's say, my first app, and use a const here. Save it now, and let's see what's happening. Guys, can you see something? Has something happened there? Now tell me. Now you'll understand. Don't worry. Now tell me. Has something happened? Guys, if you see, you have got a really beautiful looking app bar available here. Can you see that, guys? See, this is what you call as an app bar. So think of it like this. Let me open a Jamboard to explain you exactly. So let's say this is your mobile phone. Okay, and you're opening an app. So when you open an app, it has a theme. So I want the app that I'm creating to have a material theme. That's why I'm returning a material app. So material theme, it will have a material theme. Now inside that, scaffold behaves like a container, app container. And inside that, I need a title bar, like an app bar, just like your every application has, right? Guys, you might have seen. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you. See, that's where Flutter is a little different as compared to other languages. But once you get used to it, that's how amazing it is. So let me show you. For example, let me open an app like YouTube, right? So you see this top bar, right, guys? You see this top bar, everyone, where this YouTube icon is there, there's search buttons. That is your app bar. If you can see, where is YouTube? Yep. That is your app bar. See that, guys? That is your app bar that you see on the top here. See. So that's how you create it. We didn't mention color, but blue color. Yeah, by default, that color is fixed, but we can change it, obviously. So I'll show you how to change it. Don't worry. So understood, guys? The, initially, it will look tough. If you're coming from another language, it will look like what's happening here. Why everything is going inside? Everything. Why we are creating a tree? But once you read it, once something gets created, you will understand how easy it is. So exactly, apps have a top bar, right? And I can see that because of the logo, you cannot see it. Let me move it a little down here. Okay, I hope now you can see the, because of the Let's Upgrade logo, you cannot see it, right? So here we go. I hope now you can see. Let me just see if it is coming down in the YouTube video as well, so I can confirm that. Yeah, so now you can see, right? Yeah, so that's how it works, guys. That's how it works. Okay, now then let's change the color of it. So for that, no worries, inside the app bar only, it has one more property called as background color, and you can use the colors enumerator that is already available in Flutter. So colors dot whatever color you want, accents, amber, amber accent, black, whatever you want, you can use from here, right? So let's say I'm going to be doing deep purple, something like that. Save it, and the hot reload will make it purple. Here we go. Can you see that, guys? How easy it is. Okay, so first we say material app. Inside material app, there is a home property in which I mentioned, okay, inside material app, your main widget will be scaffold, and scaffold provides you with a property called as app bar. So scaffold actually provides you with properties that will help you directly to create your main screen. If you use any other container, they don't provide all these properties like app bar and all that stuff. But Scaffold provides that property. That's why we go for Scaffold. Yes, definitely, Vermuthu. Yes, I'm going to be showing you how to do that. Not today exactly, because tomorrow we have the layouting session. Tomorrow we'll learn how to design. Today is just see how things work here, how to write your first app. Okay, guys. Tomorrow we are going to create a really beautiful looking things. Tomorrow we're going to learn how to create input fields, how to create images, how to create buttons, how to click on them. We'll also talk about stateful widgets. So tomorrow's session is very, very important. Today's session was learning Dart, creating your first app, and just running it and doing some changes. Tomorrow is the most important session, guys. Tomorrow we're going to be learning how to create all the components. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, now see, this also gives you now I don't think I remember it exactly, but it also gives you one more property directly called as floating action button. And here you can directly have floating action button like that. Okay, let me just see if it directly gives the function, or I have to add all the things stuff here. Let me just see. Is it giving me something, or do I need to create everything here from scratch? Interesting, your learning method makes it. That's amazing, Verimutu. That's amazing, buddy. Thank you so much. Now I have forgotten few points in floating action, but I'm just trying to see if there is something available. But yeah, let's try it. No need to worry, guys. No need to worry. We can try everything on our own. Yeah, here we go. We have it. It was not coming. I don't know why. Here we go. And inside this, right now we don't need this on pressed, obviously. Undefined name on pressed. Try correcting the name. That one. Anything. Let's make it first of all look good. And now inside that, I can have an icon. Am I making a mistake somewhere? I should have icon property. I think I'm making a mistake somewhere, a very silly mistake somewhere. Why is the icon property not coming? Let's see. Again, if you forget, you can just do this. I'm seeing why the icon property is not coming. Or am I making a very basic mistake? Okay. No issues, guys. You can just go ahead and just search for floating action button, something like that. Yeah, Flutter, obviously. Just write Flutter so that you can easily get it. Okay. And then you can just, let's see somewhere how it comes. I just want to see the property I'm missing. Okay, wow. So icon is there, but yeah, it doesn't come directly. You have to mention a child. So that's what I forgot. It's totally fine, guys. It happens. Don't judge me. It happens. So you can just put an icon widget here, and inside that, you can again use the icons class to put some icons. So icons dot whatever icon you want. So let's say add. Let's see which icon does it provide. Okay, and in here I need to pass a function, but I don't want to pass this function. Let's see what they are doing. Are they passing a blank function? They are doing something, but for now I just want to pass a blank function. I don't want to call anything here, so just a blank function. That's it. Because we don't want to do anything, guys. Right now we don't want to click that. But see, so basically, Scaffold provides an app bar by which you can simply create an app bar, passing an app bar widget. Then this floating action button provides you this floating action button property helps you to directly create a floating action button in which you can pass any icon. And then on press, right now we are not doing anything, but basically that is the event. We'll also talk about that. I don't want to make it complicated as of now. Tomorrow we'll talk about that. But yeah, save it. Here we go, guys. Can you see that? Everyone, see, this is what you call as a floating action button. You can also change the color for it. So I think for that you have a background color property, and you can again give colors dot whatever you want. So let's say amber. Now it will not match definitely, but let's just give it. Here we go. You can also give buttons like this. And that's how the thing goes, guys. So you have this app bar. So understanding why Scaffold is so important. Scaffold is like not like normal containers. Scaffold is a container which provides you with properties that will easily help you to create app bars, floating action buttons. And again, if you want to create things in between now, for that, you still have the body. And now inside this, you can start creating things that will appear here. For example, let me just leave it with example. So inside the body, I want to create a widget called as center, which will directly move my things in center. Okay, and again, first let's create it. Prefer const. Why it is not putting in? I think I should get some extension for this. I don't want to write it again and again. And inside this now, you have a child in which you can again put some text and just write, hello, my first app. Save it. And guys, can you see that? So center widget is basically used to center anything in your screen. And inside center, I say, okay, fine. Center widget, you have a child, and the child is nothing but a text widget, which will put this text on my app. And here we go. Sir, material app is theme something like dark mode or light mode. Yes, Priyanshu, yes. So you can also change the theme from there directly. Yes. Sir, will indentation gives error or it won't? The indentation will not give you any error, but it will be good to follow the indentation because it will help you to read your code perfectly. Because Flutter code is all about tree, widget inside widget inside widget inside widget. So if you don't give proper indentations, the code will become very confusing. Why put everywhere const? Because see, initially this was not a rule, but nowadays these constructors, see, at the end they are just code, right? Somewhere they are written. So these are some constructors. Okay, and that's why basically the Flutter programming, the Dart programming is telling us to prefer const here, so that internally it is easier for them to understand it, because these are constant constructors somewhere. Yes, we can change that Aswath. Yes, we can, but now mostly by default it comes here. But yeah, we'll see all about that. Okay. So everyone, are we cleared with the basic on how we created our first app from scratch? That is doing nothing obviously, but we'll make it do something tomorrow, because tomorrow is the actual day of learning all the components. Tomorrow we'll see how to create input fields, how to create images, how to create buttons, how to create swipeable list, all that stuff we're going to be talk about tomorrow. We'll talk about all that stuff tomorrow, slide menus, all that stuff. And we'll also try to create some stateful widgets, and I'll also tell you the difference between stateful and stateless widget. Indentation is dynamic. Yes, normally you don't have to focus on that because it happens by default, because you're using VS Code obviously, so it happens by default. Yes. Okay, so everyone, we're almost done with today because we have almost covered all the time. So everyone, I hope you guys understood all the basics of Flutter. Okay, all the basic of Dart and also the basic of Flutter. Now see, as a new programmer, or even though you're an old programmer, for anyone it might be a little confusing, because it doesn't look like a normal programming, right? Everywhere you go, you learn HTML, it looks very easy to design. You learn XML, it looks very easy to understand and categorize in tags. But when you come to Flutter, it's a widget tree, widget inside widget. So it might look confusing to anyone in the start, but once you start getting the output, you'll understand what's actually happening. Okay, how to increase the size? For that, it's very simple. Now inside the text widget, you have one property called as text style, or what was it, style. Yep, you have this style, or I think directly you have font size, something like that. Let's see, do I have that? Now see guys, these are all confusing things, always happens, but don't worry about them. So you have this style, and inside this you can pass text style like that. And in this now you can actually do all that stuff, changing font sizes, changing color of the text. And guys, see, you don't have to mug all these things up, right? Keep your brain dynamic. I also forget things in here, but I know how to find them if I forget things. Okay. One general question: how you see about Musk bought Twitter? I was surprised actually, because few days back I was reading the news, right? So they were not selling it, but I was really surprised in the morning today when I heard the news. So it might, now we don't know actually. He might be having some plan, maybe, we don't know. Okay, can you show how it looks on Windows? Obviously I can show you that. Obviously I can show you that. Let me comment this line. Guys, see, everyone asking how to increase font size and all that. Don't worry, tomorrow's session is all about that. But right now someone is asking how to run it on Windows, so let me show you that. Let me just close this first. See, this is the close button. Close it. Application is closed. You can also close your emulator because it uses a lot of memory. So close it. Gone. And now, as mentioned, don't forget to select here in which device you want to run. So just go here. Now see again, Windows. So I select from here. Do you want to run on Windows, Chrome, Edge, or any emulator? So now Windows, and again press F5. Now see what will happen. Again, wait for the first time. It will happen for the first time, as I mentioned. It takes a little time. So please look at my question. Priyanshu's question. Where is Priyanshu's question? So Visual Studio is for this, so that you're able to create desktop applications. Now see guys, this is not a browser. This is a desktop application. This is a Windows desktop application. That's why you need Visual Studio. Visual Studio provides support for this. Is that cleared? Visual Studio provides the support for this. See now, it is actually a Windows application. It's not a browser. It is actually a Windows application, right? So this is what it does. VS Code says it could not find a Flutter path. How do I fix that? CTSO, yesterday I have shown how to properly put the Flutter path. So you have to do that. So you have to take that Flutter bin path and go in your environment variables and put it there. CTSO. So that's what you have to do, buddy. So just watch yesterday's video. I have mentioned how to put Flutter path in the start only. Just after installing Flutter SDK, I've put the Flutter path. Yes, poll on the final project. Yes. Yes, Perimutu. It is responsive. Yes. That's the best part, right? So that's why people have started using this. But see, right till now, people are majorly focusing on mobile applications, but maybe in future Flutter will take over everything. Maybe a case, we don't know. Yes, Namani, yeah, that's the case. JS is still best because natively JS is the main language, right? Namani, natively JS is the main language of web, so no one can replace it, obviously. Yes, Flutter is best for mobile apps as of now. We don't know the future, but yeah, as of now, Flutter is best for mobile apps, obviously. Sir, can you please tell how do you get the stateless? Yeah, I can tell you. It's very easy. Just go here and just write STL. You'll get the option of Flutter stateless widget. Just enter and that's it. You'll get a proper class of stateless widget with the build function and the constructor. Is it cleared? Yes, CTOs are mentioning you have to, after installing the SDK, you have to take the bin path of Flutter and add a new path in your environment variables. Just watch yesterday's session. In the first 10 minutes, I have mentioned how to do that. Okay. What is RAM of your PC? 16 GB. Okay. So everyone, don't worry about all your doubts on how to create images. Can we create multiple buttons? All that stuff. All of that will be cleared tomorrow when we actually create everything. So guys, tomorrow's session, input fields, images, buttons, and stateful widgets. These are the 4 things that we're going to cover tomorrow. And don't worry about the poll. Tomorrow I'll launch the poll because today we forgot about the poll. I completely forgot in this all stuff. So tomorrow I'll launch the poll on which project to create. Okay. And guys, don't worry about designing right now. Today, just sit, run your first Flutter app, try to create app bar, try to create floating action button. Just get used to this coding technique. It looks completely new, right? This coding technique looks completely new. So just get used to this coding technique, and tomorrow we're going to do amazing stuff. So according to your experience, will Flutter replace JS in future? I don't think so, Anand, because JS is the browser language, right? And Flutter is only, what do you say, a UI framework. But nowadays we are using JS for various things. We are using JS for machine learning. We are using JS for backend APIs. We are using JS for backend servers. So no, Flutter is not going to replace JS anytime soon. I don't know about what will happen in the next 20 to 30 years. But no, Flutter is not going to replace JS. It might do few things that JS also can do. So people can actually prefer Flutter in some cases for their web applications. But as of now, no, Flutter is not going to replace JS. JS have a lot of things. Now we are creating drones, we are handling drones, we are creating algorithms, we are writing backend APIs, we are creating databases, all that stuff using JS. JS has become a proper multi-purpose programming language. Okay. So everyone, that's it for today. Please go ahead, practice some Dart today. practice creating an app, see create an app bar, create a floating action button. Just understand this, and tomorrow I'll see you when we create all the other components. Yes, Anant. Yeah, Flutter is also coming in web, but it's not that great as of now. It's mostly in mobile applications. It's not that great. So that's what I said. In next 10 to 20 or 20 to 30 years, it can do anything. But as of now, no, it's not going to replace JS. But yeah, Flutter can also create web apps. Can you share this code? It will become very heavy actually when I share it. But don't worry, guys. I'll share it. I'll give it to the mods, and whoever has registered for the course, they will get this code in their emails. Okay. So please, everyone who has forgotten to register and who are all the new people, please go ahead and register for the course so that you can get certificates and all the files that I create here. Okay. So that's it, guys. That's it for today. I'll see all of you tomorrow with a lot of new things, and we'll create some fun stuff tomorrow because the introduction part is done. Now it's time to create things. Okay. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. Please let me know in the chat if you guys enjoyed or not, and please like this stream, and if you can, subscribe to the channel as well. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. I'll see you all of you tomorrow exactly at 6:30. And please also check out our full stack courses. Just go to letsupgrade.in and please check out our full stack courses, because what we are doing here is just basics. There, we literally do everything from scratch till end with 15 plus projects. Okay. So, yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye, everyone. I'll see all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much.